Good afternoon, or good evening, good morning, depending on YouTube's Malaway George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, the Olympia is just about over. The part I care about is over. Everything else I don't care about. So, as you know, I want to say congratulations to the ladies who competed. Congratulations to the five-time champ, Andrea Shaw. I told y'all guys. I told you. You didn't believe me. I told you. Congratulations to Sydney Gillen, eight-time champ. Good luck in her retirement. Shout out to her. Also congratulations to Missy Trescott coming back, returning, and winning the fitness division. And also congratulations to Sarah Vilgas winning her fourth Miss Olympia Physique title. So congratulations to all the ladies and also all the competitors that competed last night. So anyway, folks, this lovely lady, she is from the land down under. And as you know, one of my mama kids is my man, Jerome, the international player from the Himalayas. And I love to get a chance to talk to these ladies across the world. Now, right now, she's in Vegas because she just competed a couple of days ago at the Amateur Olympias. She was one of four competitors in women's bodybuilding. As you know, a couple of ladies I know competed that show and they did not get a pro cards. It is what it is. So, so we're working the lovely Mrs. Renae Malan. And we want to thank her for her time. So we want to share a story how she got into sport and what are her plans now that she had a little taste of maybe Tip can get a pro card. So, ma'am, welcome. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me, George.
All right, you're welcome. So this is the question I'd like to ask you, ladies. What got you started in this sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
I previously was a racehorse trainer, and one of my equine friends did a bodybuilding competition, and I just loved the transformation that she had. I gave it a go, and yeah, never looked back. So I've been competing now for probably 12 years, mostly in Australia, and of late I've started to branch out. Last year I competed in South Africa, and this year we really wanted to give the amateur a crack, so that's what we did.
Yeah, it's great. It seems like there's a lot of women get into the sport across the world. I know some ladies that I've interviewed that are from Australia. The late Christian Lay, she's a great young lady. Tracy Gow, who just made top 10 at her first Olympia. Also, Lisa Sege, who and her partner Rose, they run the the Figure Pro live stream podcast, and also a couple of more ladies. And yeah, it's really bodybuilding really is becoming a world sport. It's really has grown in the last few years.
Mm, absolutely, yeah. And I just feel like in Australia we have so many like amazing athletes. Amy Fox was a major idol of mine, and helped me, with contacts and networking and stuff. To get here pretty much. And I had a bit of a journey here, as this sport does. You have a bit of hiccups on the way. So the last 4 weeks I actually changed coaches, and now working with Brandon Ray. And he worked his magic in the last 4 weeks to get me in the best shape I've probably been in. I've always struggled with conditioning. I've always had great size and great mass, but yeah, like everything, there's always flaws. So Brandon's really helped me with that. And like I said, if that wasn't for networking with the girls in Australia, like Amy Fox, I would have never found him, and probably never have probably got the result I did. So it was a great, it wasn't a win, but it was a great result for me, to late. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Brandon Way is a well-known coach. I know Andrew Yo is one of his clients. Quite a few other ladies.
Mm.
I think the back of my head, but I don't know them all. But that's one of I would say he's up there with guys like Shelby Stearns, Nasir, Trey Hodge. I think these guys really know how to work with women. So we have here
Mm.
people come in here. This is my man. His name is crazy. I get it. My man Balls Deep. He's in here. He says, "Good afternoon, gorgeous." And he also says, "Chicago in here." Yeah, he's from Chicago. He says, "Smash that like button." Thank you, brother. Also, he says, "Peace and blessings, beautiful." And also, his last one is like, Schmo gang. So shout out to him. Also, we got here my man KL the morning says, "Hey, what's going on? Nothing much, brother. Welcome." And also, he has a question for you. He says, "I don't think she's familiar with Jerome's." He said, hey, you know what? If you don't ever watch Martin, you might know who Jerome was. Jerome was like, he was a player. He just had the go-to thing, like, hey, but that's about it, course.
Yeah.
So, and there's also women like Beth Francis. She's one, I would say, the legend that really opened up women's bodybuilding, I think, to Australia. And then people like Christine Inval. I mean, there's so many women from that country that has really made an impact in the sport of bodybuilding.
Yeah, well, it's funny you mentioned Christine because Amy put me in contact with Christine, and then Christine put me in contact with Brandon. So, yeah, it was actually really cool. One day, I was doing a check-in with Brandon, and he said, "Hang on, I've got someone else on the line for you," and he had Christine on the other line. So we all had a three-way talk, and it was really cool just to talk to her and you know. Yeah, she gave me some words of encouragement, which was great, and because she's she's an idol of mine as well. So yeah, it's nice, and especially being over here in America, meeting all like I met like Hallie Trevino, I met Andrea, meeting these women. I've had a lot. We've been hanging out with Tracy quite a lot, helping her out as well. And yeah, just meeting these women, like it's just so nice to everyone's real, like you look up to these ladies, but everyone's just, trying to do their best and battling and just grinding it out, so you don't feel like such a outsider.
Yeah, it's a sport where really it's a small sport, but then it's kind of like you become a family when you get involved in it. You form
100%.
connections. Yeah, you become friendships. And she mentioned my favorite person of all time, the current five-time champ, Andrea Shaw. Oh, I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
her.
yeah,
She's just so amazing. I mean, I was like people were saying like, well, she may not win the title. She may not win it because wait, whoa. That's my girl. That's my girl.
yeah,
I
yeah.
was no doubt. Angela looked great. She looked good at the Rising Phoenix. But this is the Olympia. And I know people told me, Andrea said that when she's on, she's on. She's in just another world. Like, best way to describe it is like the movie The Fifth Element. When the character said, she's like the fifth element. She's perfect.
Mm, mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. We have a comment here from a man, KL. He says, how was the amateur Olympia for you? So what was the experience like? This was your first time in the States competing in a show like the amateur Olympia. What was the experience like for yourself?
Yeah, so like I said, like I came over because they don't have women's bodybuilding in Australia. It's just women's physique. So I really think I am women's bodybuilding. So I thought I want to just stand next to other women and be compared and be torn apart and, so I can have goals and stuff to work on. But the show itself was amazing, just so organized over here, and everything has its place. Everything has structure. Everything's organized on time. Even like backstage, there was no messing around. The women were really nice. Everyone was really chatty. Like I said, everyone was probably as nervous as each other. So yeah, like I said, there was probably 6 women bodybuilders all up, 4 in our lineup. But yeah, it was great just to stand next to other women, with great muscle and just trying to do what we're doing. But yeah, as far as the show and stuff, it was just a great experience. Great atmosphere. Yeah, definitely be back. Where Brandon's already got plans for us as well, so we're probably gonna look at doing the Chicago show in where they offer the pro card as well. So a fellow Australian did the Chicago Pro last year, and she won that, and then won a pro card and went straight into the pro show. So that's what I would like to do.
I think I remember that was in 2022. I mean 2022 or 2023. It was 2022, and it was her name
Yeah,
was
Ash.
Susan. Yeah, Ash, and
Mm,
she won in her class. All you got to do, because that's the
mm,
top of the Mr. National. All you got to do is win your class. You just do your
mm.
overall. You win the overall, you get to do. the Rising Phoenix, get an invitation. But the girl who won it this year, she didn't take the invitation. And shout out to that's Wing the Stream people. Shout out to Jake Woods. Every time I say his name, I gotta say, yo Jake, I want that money. I want that good. That's what Devin Training Day. I just I love that because he has the money. He's the guy who promotes the Olympia. He's giving like he brought women's bodybuilding back when everybody. And this is for my favorite movie, Batman Begins, where how they say it's like walk quiet behind the division and stab in the heart. Not at the Arnold. Got kicked out of the Olympia, so few shows, but now it's growing. There's Mia Popa. She just created another show in Romania, and also she has the Romanian Muscle Fest. I don't know, it'll be too early for you, but they do also have a pro qualifier there if you want to get to Romania. But he wants to take the opportunity to try to shoot for the Miss International. You got the time. You got at least a year. You can work brain conditioning, and everything looks good. So we have a comment from
I
a
just
man.
saw this. I just saw this morning as well. The Triple O announced they're having a women's bodybuilding class.
Yeah, well, they've been having that's for the amateurs. The amateurs, they have amateurs. They have the pro. The pro is like for Olympic qualification. Amateurs is regional. So if you do an amateur show,
Right.
it's regional. So it
Right.
gets you a qualification for a national show, and it's
Yeah.
it's out of your way. But in the future, if you get your pro card, you'll be able to show make you the pro debut at. Just think about it. Yeah, but shout out to Sid Gillen, shout out to Whitney Jones, shout out to Andrea. They really are stepping up where people have been pushing out like divisions like fitness and figure, and they're getting less opportunities. But shout out to them. We got here a comment from my man KL. He says, "What's your typical day in Australia?" So, what's it like? Because, like I said, you still work with horses?
Yeah, no, so I don't now. I've gone into the gym industry. So I work at World Gym. I'm from Western Australia, so in Western Australia, World Gym is really growing. We work with a guy called Ryan Youngman, who has 6 world gyms now in Western Australia. So my husband and I are actually part owners in a couple of those. And I'm from one called Bunbury, which is down south. So I'm the personal training manager there, and I have my own little personal training business there. So a day for me looks like getting up, doing, if I'm in competition preparation, I do my cardio, I train my clients, then I train myself, I carry on with clients, and then generally finish by the mid-afternoon. And we live in a fantastic place in Western Australia where we live on the beach. My days in the summer, my husband and I have a great life. He is a heavy diesel mechanic, very, very supportive of me. He took a bunch of time off to come over and support me with this journey, as did my best gym sister girlfriend, Chrissy. She came over as well. So I was really lucky when I came over here. I had a great support team. I wasn't by myself. All the other things you have to worry about, getting to your hotel and booking stuff and blah, blah, blah. I didn't have to stress and worry about that. They did that. And it was just really nice to share Vegas and the biggest show of my career so far with the people I love. So, it's been just fantastic, this whole trip. And I thank, everyone that supported me and helped me on the way. Like I said, back home, the gym that we're at, World Gym Bunbury, I have great trainers and stuff that help me as well. His actually name is George as well. So George is, but he's not as big as you. He's only a little guy, but he's like, um, his legs are as big as his whole body. So you always need those people to keep you honest. You think you train hard until they have a session with you. I also work with a guy called Shane Smith. He has his own gym as well in Perth from the Lift Lab. He keeps me honest. So those two guys really push me and do what you need to do when you're doing this sport. So yeah.
Well, if you get back to Australia, tell your George says good day, mate, and thank you for being a George. So yeah, it's a lot to be this sport. It's good that you have your support of your husband and family and friends. What's your husband's name again?
Wula.
Bula. Sounds.
Yeah,
Where's he
he's
from?
he's South African.
Oh, South African. Oh, okay. Pretty
Yeah,
cool. And and friendships. This thing about bodybuilding. This is a tough sport that people don't understand. People on the outside look at this like it's all about, oh, you're taking steroids, you're taking this and that. No, it's about training, being consistent, dieting. Steroids is not, if it's any kind of drug or anything you use, it's only a small factor. But it's so easy to pick on bodybuilding as other sports. But you
generally the
guys,
people I find that say that the cheap shots, they're the people that are unhappy with themselves, don't know really where they're going. I mean, that's just a cheap shot to me. Like there's so many factors in this sport um, that get you there. The people around you, your training, your sleep, your everyday life atmosphere, the support crew that you've got, you being happy within yourself. Um, People that say that, it used to upset me, but now it's just like water off a duck's back.
well, the quote one of my favorite comedians, Bernie Mac, says, "Son, if people don't like who you are, fuck them. That's all they can do.
Yeah,
You got to live for you."
100%.
Yeah. We got here a comment from my man. Says, um, "Is it me or Renee looks like a little bit like Christine Inval? Am I sure is she familiar with her? Where she mentioned that she talked to Christina on the phone. She's familiar with her. But yeah, it's good that you have those friendships that support. I mean, most people, got to think about it. There's so much involved as a bodybuilder, and also for y'all women, the cost is way more. Not only that, you have to come all the way from Australia here to the States. Then you got to get your poser suits, your hair, your makeup done. Everything that involves it, your food, your coaches. And also compared to the guys, all you got to do is wear. I keep saying this. This is true. All you got to do is wear a pair of banana hammers or board shorts. But you ladies, it takes so much for y'all to prepare. The has a fine line of both having femininity, and also muscle.
Yeah. And that's one big thing I've learned from Brandon as well. Like when I started working with him, he pulled my posing apart and I felt like I knew nothing. He said, you're doing, you know, manly sport. You've got to pose as feminine as possible, and even just watching the pro show last night, you can really, I can see what he means now. Like my posing completely changed, um but like I said, it's amazing watching those pros, because they just pose like pros. So that's one thing I'll be working hard in the off season as well, is just keep my posing like very, very feminine, and just make it look easy. I think it's frozen.
Sorry. I think
Oh, I
somebody said
got
my
you.
screen.
I lost you. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. You still hear me?
Yeah, I got you back now. Yep.
Yeah, because I have a little issue. I think something on my screen or something. But what we do, folks, we'll jump into social media for a little bit. We're gonna look at some pictures and look at some and follow her progress as a competitor. But guys, I'm gonna tell y'all, this is something I tell this as a warning to anybody out there who follows my content, who follow these ladies, who are interested in following someone like Renee. Her links are in the description of the live stream. Don't do this. No D pics. Stop it. Don't do it. You get what I mean when I'm talking about D pics? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yep. 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 Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Guys, we're seeing weird shit in on your DMs. That's why I'm don't do it. So
Oh
we're
yeah,
gonna,
yeah, yeah. We're not.
yeah.
No, it's just.
So we're gonna jump over here for a minute, and and here we are. And I see some pictures here. These are nice pictures. You and your husband together. Oh, that's sweet. Y'all look so cute. You
You can
know,
see George. George is the little guy. With the five of us. He's one of my trainers at the World Gym in Bunbury.
oh yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
He's covering his legs up there, but they're big.
and, who are these other people with y'all?
Yeah, that's his wife next to him, and that's my friend Adele. She's that was at her birthday party. So yeah, she's an owner in the World Gym as well. Yeah, and that's me and my husband next to her.
Oh
So
yeah. How
that's my
long?
husband and his Harley.
And how long y'all been together? You and your husband?
3 years now. So we found each other later in life. We're both late bloomers.
Well, that's not, that's great because you know what, it's great to find somebody who you love and care for. You have passion here. And here's a little video. This is you as you
That was
are.
my first show ever when I first started bodybuilding.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
you have really evolved over the years. And this was when was this?
Oh my goodness, I think the date's on there. That was, wow, 2000, probably 2000 and, oh, maybe 10. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh, that's George. Um, and then, yeah, like every woman knows, just progressed over the years and, you know, got the judges' feedback and worked harder and harder and harder on getting your symmetry and just growing that muscle.
Yeah. So what was that like that first time competing on stage?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, like I was a horse trainer, so I always I had like a good amount of muscle there, but I never knew about the diet and the discipline and what's required to get yourself to a show. Um, so yeah, over the years, I've just surrounded myself with different sort of people, and I've always learnt something. Like my old boss said, you can always learn something from someone, even if they're an idiot, like not what not to do. So yeah, I've it's the same with my bodybuilding and my training. I've hung around people and I thought, oh, maybe you're not for me, so you pull away from those people, and then find something that works for you, because you really ultimately yourself and what works for you, and um, you know how
Yeah.
to get better, pretty much.
Well, like I said, bodybuilding is a process to grow and
Mm,
develop and to learn. And you have to also trust. This is one thing people say, like, trust the process, but sometimes
mm.
you have to really fully understand and know what is involved when you are invest yourself in your life in this process of bodybuilding.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So for me, for this journey, heading to the amateur Olympia, I had 3 shows in mind. So I did my West Australian state show, which qualified me um, for the O. So then I went to the nationals because we had to fly out from Melbourne to get to Vegas anyway. So I did the nationals in Melbourne, in Australia, again in women's physique. Again, my conditioning was not, where it needed to.
Hmm. And sorry, I think I had it.
Guy that was calling, I can't remember his name, sorry, actually came out the back and spoke to all of us, and gave us some great feedback, which I thought was really cool. Um, so the feedback he gave me was I just need a bigger back, and I can see that now watching all these women. Like even yesterday at the prejudging, every one of these pros have got like big thick backs. So that's one thing we'll be working on when we get home. And yeah, and just to be leaner and harder, which we knew, but we'll get there.
Yeah, because it's a process as an athlete as you grow and develop over time. This is, like
Yeah,
I said, not an easy sport. A lot of sacrifice you have to make. Mental, physically, financially. You know,
yeah,
uh, just there's so much risk, but sometimes not much reward. But you have to really love the sport when you get into it.
yeah, 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 100%.
So anyway, you anybody that you really, like I say, been around these people over the weekend at the in Vegas, is anybody you really are very fond of or really have admired over time ever since you got this process of bodybuilding?
Yeah, it's funny. Like I said, it was just amazing. We met Linda Murray as well. Um, I felt like a bit of a kid in a candy shop. Like I would see all these people that are like major idols, and I would see them, and I would say to my friend Chrissy, look, that's so and so, and she's new to the sport, so she has no idea who these women are. And I'll be like, oh, I really want a photo with them. And then I'd be like, no, don't worry about it. Let's just go. And she would run up to them and say, hey, this is my friend Renae. She's just on the amateur O. She wants a photo with you. So I think that she did that. But yeah, all those women, amazing. I was training at Powerhouse Gym in Vegas as well. So I met Iris. She was lovely, really encouraging, great to talk to. Um, yeah, very encouraging. But it's funny, one person that, so Shane, that helps me back home in Western Australia, has worked with Milos Sarcev quite a lot. And like, I almost feel like I know Milos the way Shane talks about him. So I've always wanted to meet Milos and train with him and stuff. So I hit him up, I harassed him before I came over here and said, please, can you fit me in for some sessions before, I compete in the amateur O, and he was just far too busy. But anyway, I actually met him yesterday, so that was the highlight of my trip. Actually meeting him, and like, such a nice man. Like, I just talking to him, I felt like what Shane says about him. Um, I felt like I knew him, So I said to my husband, we'll even come back over here for a week or two, or get Milos back to Australia, because I would love to train with him. I think that's what my body really needs and would respond to, because I am quite like a bigger woman and stuff. His sort of training would really help me dial into that conditioning that's required for me to get my pro card. So yeah, like, Shane is pretty much a Milos anyway, but it was just awesome meeting him. Shane used to help Milos do the camps and in Australia when Milos used to come over. So I said to Milos yesterday, when are you coming back to Australia? We want you here. But I think he's so busy. But we'll make it happen one day, he said.
Yeah, Milos is a legend. He's been competing alongside guys like Dorian Yates, Ronnie Coleman. He's been in the game for a long time. And, there's a lot of these guys who are established legends in the sport. And Iris Kyle, people might say this, she has 10 Miss Olympias. That's 10 Olympia titles. Not just because it's a Miss Olympia, it's 10 Olympia titles. That's two more than Ronnie, two more than Minda, two more than Alina Garcia, and two more than Sid Gillen. Sid could have pushed for one more if she wanted to, but I think with her, she wanted to enjoy her life. She's married, she's doing other stuff outside the sport. The Triple O Dynasty. She also has another show in Georgia where she promotes. Here, my man KL, he says this. He says, I like how thick she is with the muscularity. Shout out to him. Also, he says, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite food?
Oh, goodness me. I like it. I like all foods. But it's funny, after a competition, I really fancied Japanese sushi. I love sushi, and Vegas is amazing. We went to Chinatown and found a great little restaurant, and just had it was pretty much all you can eat, and yeah, it was beautiful, just so fresh, and the flavors are just magnificent. So I'd have to say probably Japanese sushi and is the best, number one.
Yeah. Yeah, especially after competition. I know you ladies, you're on the diet, you're prepping, and you can't eat everything, because one thing about food, it's a part of the process, but it's depending what you eat. And I know those Vegas buffets. I got a friend of mine. We just talked a while ago. She just made her pro debut, and she really was ready hinky for something for food, and went to one of the buffets. I mean, I like going to buffet. My favorite is like a Chinese buffet here. It's next time over.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
have about everything. You just, I need to cut back on. I'm losing some weight. I went to my doctor, lost 3 pounds, but sometimes it's just food can be just a tempting thing.
yeah,
Sometimes it's just things that just
yeah.
you have no control over it. You desire it. It's like anarchy. It's chaos. It just it tastes good, but like a lot of bodybuilders are foodies. They enjoy the process of food and eating. So as you said again, you are planning on making your shoot for your pro card maybe at the Miss International next year. What did the judges give you on the feedback at the Olympia Amateurs?
Yeah, so when he came backstage, he just said, you need a bigger back, bigger, thicker back. So that's what we're working on. And he said, just need to be leaner and harder. So like I said, we'll just get to work when we get home. It's fine. Yeah, like, I'm actually really looking forward to this trip. Has been so inspiring, and just seen some amazing physiques. Yeah, even my husband and the bestie that came over with me just said, "Wow, we were just all so inspired." So going home to get to work will be will be good. Yeah, and we've trained in some awesome gyms over here as well. Just like I said before, you feel like a kid in a candy store. We trained at Flex's gym, the Dragon's Lair. Man, that was the atmosphere. I've never been in a gym with like such electric atmosphere. There were lines to equipment. People trying to get on equipment. Um, it's funny, and it's you do a set and everyone's checking everyone out, and yeah, everyone's having photos. It was just awesome. Iron banging and crashing, and yeah, just makes you hungry to want to get better, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's why that back home, like you think you train hard by yourself, but that's why you have to go to these people that keep you honest, that push you out of the comfort zone, that don't give a shit about your feelings or your hurting, or and that's something that Shane and George are really good at, pushing me too. So yeah, they give a shit about your feelings, and they just push you and push you, and because they know what the athletes need, us sort of athletes need, to get to that next level, to get to competitions like this, to ultimately for me at the moment, to get that pro card. So that's the next thing I'll be really focusing on, until we come back over here for the Chicago pro, is just work, work, work.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work because you know what? It's a tough sport. But if you love it bad enough and if you want it bad enough, you're determined to get it. You put in the work. You make the time. You make the sacrifices.
Mm,
You know, people got to understand there's a lot to the sport that takes to get to that next level. Like I said, everything
mm,
you have to be a complete athlete. I know most definitely the back's the most important part when you want to do because I've seen some women who want to show because of their back. They might be off in one
mm.
area, but then if that back comes in with great style ratios, a lot of size and density, they have won their shows or even earned their pro cards. We have here from a man K. He says, "Did George in Australia ever competed before? I don't know if you mentioned it. So he ever competed, George?"
Yeah, no, George never competed in bodybuilding, but he's pretty much a bodybuilder. But he competed in gridiron. The scouts came over from America to Australia and wanted to take him back to America for gridiron. Yeah, and he also competed in Olympic lifting as well. So that's was his foundation. So yeah, and like I said, like in Western Australia, we um, finding those sort of people with that sort of experience is really hard. And as you know, in gyms everywhere, there's a lot of trainers, and you can get that sort of stuff off the Wheatie box. But people with that sort of life experience, like Shane surrounding himself with Milos for all those years, that's life experience. It's not what you get from a book or what you learn at personal training school. Um, it's actually being around those amazing people, and you know, feeding off them. That's
It's
how you
kind
get
of
better.
like I always said, metal sharpen metal. It's great
Yeah.
to learn and have some build you up and support you. Like especially your friends, your family. What was that like with your other family members when you started getting into bodybuilding? What was their thoughts on it?
Yeah, they were pretty supportive, like like I said, my dad was a huge supporter when I was doing the racehorse training, because we're from a farm, in a little place called Donnybrook in Western Australia. So yeah, it was all this sort of bodybuilding and weightlifting and stuff was foreign to them, Like my dad would say, "Oh, that's just all for show. If you want, go and do a hard day's work, you'll be fine." And so that's why, I used to do the horse training and stuff because, you needed the income. Um, so, but yeah, like I said, when I used to watch my friends do these amazing transformations, I thought, wow, I really want to do that. So yeah, like from a small town. So um, my parents are really supportive with everything that I've done, and I always surround myself with people that are supportive anyway. So
That's good. Support is important because you know what? People are going to make their prejudgments, especially women in bodybuilding. They make comments
mm,
like, "Well, he's trying to be a man, yada 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 yada." No, she's an athlete.
mm,
Like any athlete, she has to
mm,
train and work hard. Like you don't say that too often about any like look at like people like Simone Biles or someone like who else I'm trying to think of some of the great competitive players in the sport of soccer and other sports where women, it's easy to pick on women's bodybuilding more than to pick on the other ones. But society is just not acceptable to the idea. I know had some ladies comment how their parents don't understand, and then eventually they got supported. But then there's always that outside of it. The people don't really just don't know what it takes. Like I said again, I know there's times you want to go hang out with your friends, but you can't because you got to train, you got to get up, you got to work out. You can't, your husband may not always go out and eat as often as you like because you're on a diet, you're prepping. There's so much involved in this that people need to read. That's why I have these discussions and do interviews because this is what people need to understand.
Absolutely.
This is from man KL. He says, I like to cook Japanese food with the beef teriyaki. Also, yeah.
That's the
Also,
first thing we ordered, the beef teriyaki. So good
yeah.
choice.
Yeah. And it says, how far do you see yourself competing if you can answer? So what you think? You think you want to keep on going to your pro card or you think like
No, 100%. I want that pro card, definitely. Yeah. And, the pinnacle for me is the real O. Watching that last night, I just, I had goosebumps when watching Andrea and Angela fight it off. I thought, wow, like just to make top five, like, would be a dream. So, and watching, Tracy, um, since we met her in Melbourne before we came here, and to this trip here, we've built a great friendship. Feel like I've known her for years. But even just watching her journey, like just for her to make the top 10 and make the finals last night, like just gives me goosebumps. Like it's funny. Her comments were she needed a bigger back as well. So from when she won her pro show in Toronto to the O. In a short amount of time, she made huge improvements with her back. So that's the sort of stuff that makes you tick and keep grinding and get through the hard mornings and inspires you, so yeah, I want to go all the way, absolutely. And I'm really, really lucky. My husband is super supportive, which is, a must. Like you see a lot of people with all the talent in the world, but they just don't have that support. And to come to an event and make it this far, you must have support. And listening to Andrea Shaw's speech last night after she won, that was one of the major things that she said as well, just the support and thanking God and for putting stuff in front of her. She had to make some different choices before she won the O. I think 4 weeks before she trained trainers or coaches or something, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, because I mean, I watched The Rise of Phoenix, and I remember actually the first time I saw her compete. Well, it was a competition. She was a guest posing about a few years ago. It was at the Savannah Pro, where she was guest posing. It was her and Mona Personally, and she looked a little soft, but still, Mona, she could have competed the show that day and maybe win the show. But when she did The Rise of Phoenix that next day, I think a month later, so later, she was just on. I think she got a little complacent, maybe because the judging it was a switch of judge because Sadie Williamson usually judges that show, but now she's judging she also judges the Olympia. And Angela, she came in the best condition. I give it that, but I felt like she might have peaked too soon. I know you want to beat her to Rising Phoenix, but the main show is the Olympia. I mean,
Yeah.
Andrea, it was just her size was just undeniable. Her condition was just at the best. He said it when she after an interview said, "I got to go to work," and she took the time off. Didn't come back home. Her and Mama stayed in Arizona, and they worked and trained. And I think she has a new coach. I don't think she's with John Simmons anymore, and really brought it back up. This is something I want to show you real quick. A while back, a friend of mine, Eunice, was at the Olympia a couple of years, was last year. She got me this magazine, and it's the last issue of Muscle Development, with Andrea being the first woman in years for women's body to be on the cover. And she just great thing. I love showing this off because this is what she signed it for me.
Oh,
And
wow. You definitely
this
keep
is
that one. That's awesome.
this is yes, I love it. I hug it. I named it George. So and I get to learn a lot when I talk to women like yourself and who are in the sport, women who are in the game, people who try to get in the game. I really get a learn because here my crime is I'm a muscle per smoke. I think y'all ladies are beautiful. I mean, y'all buff muscles, bodies excite me, but I respect your commitment and passion for the sport. Here's from my man, Gucci 23. Hello, brother. He says, hey, George and Malan. Appreciate brother coming through. Also, this is from a man, Kate Ellie says, uh, the society throw darts at women bodybuilders. Yeah, they do. Also, he has a question like this. He says, um, do they have natural bodybuilding in Australia? I'm just asking.
Yeah, 100%. So, like I said, I'm a personal trainer at the World Gym at Bunbury, and I've just prepped pretty much a little team for one of the shows they call ICN in Australia. It's I Compete Natural. Yeah, and they did really well. We had one girl take out the overall. Other ladies, place in every class they did. So in the ICN, they get to compete in, 4 or 5 different classes as well. So they have bikini mama and fitness mama and, tall, short, blah, blah, blah. So it's a great start for them. Yeah, so um, we yeah, have I work alongside another lady that does their nutrition, and I do their training, and yeah, we have a great little thing going in down in the southwest in Western Australia. So um, a lot of people that come to me and say, "Oh, I want to do what you do, and I want to compete," because they're in the gym, they've done their transformation, they're just sort of looking for that next thing. Yeah, we always encourage them to start with the natural shows and just teach them what it takes, the training, the lifestyle, what this sort of sport requires, and then they go from there.
Yeah, because natural, I think they're getting, I think there's some other organizations there's natural bodybuilding, OCB, I think also the PCA. It's a different look compared to the more enhanced competitors. But, I think it's getting more attention because I think they also have a national competition coming up in about a few months. That's the Ben Weeder Natural Show that's in Virginia. And like I said, you got to find what works for you as an athlete and what way you want to
Yeah.
go. So as you're training, what's that one thing? No, what's these things? What's the exercise you like the most? And the exercise like, damn, I got to do it today. Why I got to do it?
Sorry, can you say that again?
I said, what's the exercise that you like the most? And the one you say, I hate doing it. I don't want to do it, but you got to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So I love training legs, so I get
Oh my
excited on
God.
leg day.
You're a
Yep.
mutant. You're a mutant.
But one thing I hated doing, which I make myself do all the time now, is pull-ups. So back day. So pull-ups, and I've had that feedback. Like you need a bigger back, need a bigger back. So it's it's a must now. Every back day we pull up,
Yeah, you
and I'm
gotta
like, damn, I'm a big girl. That's a lot of weight to pull up.
Well, like I said, you want that pro card, you got to put the work in. They're
That's
not going
it.
to give it
That's
to
it. So
you.
I make myself do it. Yep.
Yeah, the thing as an athlete, you have to work on all factors. Work on your strengths as much as you work on your weaknesses. And I think if you concentrate on improving your back and just bring it development, it could be the thing that gets you your pro card.
Mm.
Here it's from man K. Ellie says, imagine Simone Biles as a Miss Olympia in years to come. That would be interesting, and would people be into to watch? Maybe. I mean, something like Simone Biles. A lot of those gymnasts, if you look at some of these ladies and gymnasts, they have, even though you can see they have abs, muscle development, just from like almost maybe I would say fitness competitors. Many fitness competitors have gymnast background. You can see that muscle development. You look at some track stars. I mean, there's a lot of ladies that do interviews who run track, because it's a different level. Because it's like you run 200 milliliters or 100 milliliters compared to me being a long distance runner. You need that muscle for that push. Um, Here he says, uh, my girl, okay, she likes leg day. And also, he's picking on me. He says, it's a felony charge for being a schmoes. Yeah, well, folks, we all know that, but you know what? We like ladies like this. We love people like Renae. She's been, I want to say it like this, Renae. You are beautiful. I'm sorry about him. He can't help himself. So, like I said, the plan is to go back, make the improvements, maybe possibly come back next year. And will you think you want to make your pro debut after, or you want to give yourself more time to grow?
Oh, I think that's something that I'll work with the coach. but yeah, 100%. After, if I get that pro card, or when I get the pro card, if they give you the opportunity to step on that pro stage, why wouldn't I? I'm there. You know, it's just another opportunity to stand next to the pros and be compared again, and um, more feedback, and then go home to work again. So, yeah, I think I would definitely do it there and then.
Yeah. And one thing
It's
is,
an
I think,
opportunity.
yeah, one thing helps for you ladies is sponsorship. I know the cost of coming here from Australia. I mean, would you ever consider doing, getting sponsors? Because, it's important, especially as you are training, getting ready. Because, like I said, again, the cost of, there's not that many shows for pro qualification in Australia. You have to go to other countries. Sponsorship does help. So if anybody's interested in sponsoring her, reach out. We're interested and show support. And you have any
Yeah,
sponsors right now? Or
100%.
everything's on your shoulders?
Yeah, so the couple of the shows, the World Gym has helped me, but my major sponsor at the moment is my husband. um, yeah, and like I said, those sponsors would be absolutely make you be next level. So I know it's a little bit like everything. A lot of promises are made. And I've had people offer me sponsorships before and stuff like that, and a lot of promises are made, but then the following through, um, it never really happens. So that's a bit of a letdown. But yeah, always looking for
Yeah.
the next
Yeah.
sponsorship.
I talked to a couple ladies say that people reach out to them, but then here's the thing: some of these guys like, "Hey Renee, I know I saw you one buff Aussie. You mind if you put a shrimp out of barbie?" No, 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 no. That's guys. Come on, guys. This lady's
Mm,
she's a nice lady. She's married. She's respectful. Don't do that. When you reach out to
mm,
these ladies, reach out with genuine interest. Be like this, saying like, Miss Malan, we saw you last competition. You look very impressive. I know it's cost expense for you to come here from the States. If you'll be interested in and be a brand ambassador for our company, we'll help you,
mm.
maybe possibly get you set up for a pro qualification in the future. And all we need for you is just to represent our company. If it's something that you like, a product we have that we like, and you want to be part of it, you're welcome. We sign a contract, set everything up, and get you in a good space where you can be top
100%.
level.
Everything up board where you're both on the same understanding, they're both on the same page, and then it works. But when things starts to get a little bit blurry and a bit in grey areas, then that's when things don't work. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah, because some guys are not too professional. Some guys, the mindset of it is like, if I do this, she do this for me. No, no, you have to be genuinely interested. You don't want anything more to see our athlete grow and even have a good relationship where you represent your product and represent them as represent you. You want good
Mm,
exchange, but it's hard.
mm,
Especially, it's easy to get the as I call them, the TNA division, that's bikini wellness. They get more attention, but you women in
yeah.
bodybuilding, y'all work hard, y'all train hard, y'all are passionate. I mean, one thing I wish that the money was a little better for some, especially, as an amateur, you have to pay entry fees and all that. I wish there was more benefits because if this was like a mainstream sport where you were getting money, even as an amateur, you get some kind of little benefits to help you out with. Like if you do a show, you get your entry fee back if you win or qualify for a regional or national show. I mean,
Mm.
these little things help in the process, especially Australia, how bodybuilding started growing because, like, people I hear about. I think it's like, what's his name, Dory. I think Dorfrey. I think it's his name. He's one of the big. What's his name?
Oh, Tony Doherty.
Yeah, Toy Dory. Yeah, he's one of the big guys. Bears back there, and really, that's a country where I think there's opportunity there. Just that people need to reach out there and try to set up ground there. I mean, bodybuilding is becoming a world sport. I mean, next year they're going to have the Masters Olympia in Japan,
Mm,
we look at one guy who I'm I'm a fan of his while I was growing up. I don't like what he's done to women's bodybuilding in the other divisions. It's Arnold. Arnold's worldwide. He's everywhere. It's get the Tuma and not the chopper.
yeah.
But this is a lot to the sport that people need to understand. Um, Here, this is from my man KL. He's always picking on me. He says, George, you need a suit and tie the way you say about the company's sponsorship. Well, I gotta get mine tailored because I'm kind of a big dude, and sometimes it's not fit as well. And also, this is for a man says, yeah, Bear Ferris is from Australia. She just popped in my head. Yes, we just mentioned her. Slow. So well, like I said, we're not going to hold her much too long because you know what? She has to go back home. She has to work. put in that work, bring in best conditioning. We wish you all the best because you know what thing again, this is tough for you ladies to be in a sport, the demands of it, the not just the physical, the financial, the mental, you know, so much is involved as you as an athlete.
Mm,
And like I said again, it's not about trusting the process, it's understanding the process. And when you understand it fully, then you can
mm,
trust it. You know, you just don't go into
yeah.
it blindly. And there's no shortcuts. You know, you have to work. You can't skip a leg day. You can't skip this. You know, it's so much that's involved. Hello?
Yep. Yeah, sorry, I lost you for a couple of seconds. Yeah, no,
Okay.
100% agree. Yeah, yep. Yeah. So yeah, no, thank you so much for having me, and yeah, I look forward to speaking you, you know, when I get that pro card and say I did it, George. We brought home the bacon.
Yeah. You
But
like Rocky
until
Balboa.
then,
Yeah. You like Rocky Balboa.
yeah,
I
yeah.
did it. I did it. You can say, yeah, yeah. Like I said, you always a welcome guest. Here, my man, Kale, he's always picking on me. He says, I didn't hear you say that, smart ass. Yes, thank you. I take the compliment. I'm smart ass. Yeah, yeah, you know. But, you know, I do appreciate time you give me. And I do hope the best for you. I mean, just to say again, this is a tough sport. And it's good to have people like, you know, Kristen Vall in your corner, your husband, even Tracy. You know, I remember when Tracy was on here, we did an interview just a little bit after she got her pro card. And I told her, you have an Olympia level physique. And she's not proved
Mm,
me wrong. She won in
mm,
Toronto, got in the top 10 in her first Olympia. I hope she can make it back next year.
yep.
You know, I think she's a great person. You know, she's been on my channel a couple of times. I might try to reach out, see if she want to do something again, and maybe just update how she feel now, being she's been in Olympia. And you
Yeah.
know, thank you to your husband. You know, it's a good man you get. It's a good man you get. Stand
He is
by
a
with
good man.
you.
I am lucky. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, a lot of people need to respect who you are as a person, as an athlete, as a woman, and understand there's
Yeah.
so much in sport that it takes. And as sport has evolved over the years, you know, it's like I said, it's getting to the point where the divisions are getting to meld a little bit. As you know, you win physique, but you win with women's bodybuilding, and it works, especially with your size, your genetics. You know, sometimes some people have to
Mm,
get out of their own way and say, like, you know what, maybe I need to go someplace where I might be better fitted. And I think bodybuilding is a
mm,
good place for you. Just bring in all those aesthetics, make those improvements,
mm,
and then I think most definitely I can see you getting your pro card.
mm. Thank you so much, George.
Yeah, you're welcome. You know, we got a woman from man. He's a shithead. Says at least she doesn't crack up like Tracy. Well, Tracy has to have fun. You know,
That
you just a
infectious
hater.
laugh, Tracy's infectious
Just
laugh. My
laugh. Yeah.
goodness.
I call her my Harley Quinn. She called me her Joker. I like, you know, I just love that. I tell her that say like this, if you get something, never do for free, you know. So, but folks, I do like to thank the lovely Mrs. Malan for coming through and sharing her story with us. We do wish her all the best. So like I said, you know, hope she enjoyed. Hope you're not doing no poker. You're like playing, hitting the casinos. You go
Yeah,
home
I gotta
books
go. We're
and
going to the casino now.
he play slots. Don't try to play craps and do cards. You know, you might get some
Yeah,
change out of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Maybe, hey, you might
yeah.
hit big. Hey, that'd be enough to pay for. You know what? Pay for your next show. Yeah, you might do another show. But
No, it's funny that the looks, some of the looks we've got in the casino with me and my friend and my husband. They said, "Oh, is there some fitness thing going in town? Like you guys are all big." And I said, "You know what? We could stand on the corner and make some money, pay for this bloody trip."
yeah, the thing is, lot of people don't know much about bodybuilding. Like, you know, it used to, like, when I was coming up, it used to be on television. You can catch it on like networks like ABC, or ESPN used to show it, but now you have poker and cornhole. And you know, most people would, unlike people like myself and KL and some others, you know, they don't really know much about this sport. But that's why I do these live streams. That's why I do these interviews. That's why we content, especially for you ladies, because your ladies don't get as much attention. There's so many, like if you go into analog to YouTube, everybody's focused on mostly the men's because the men's division is the bottom bitch. It gets all the attention. You know, they look at the division like bikini and wellness because it's very feminine looking. But women like yourself in physique, bodybuilding, fitness, and even figure, y'all are the top level competitors. And that's why, like, I don't, like I said, I just interviewed a lady who does wellness. You know, I give her opportunity. I interview ladies in fitness, bikini. You know, I really want to give y'all a voice that not people are giving you the opportunity to share. And you don't have to be a big superstar. I love to get Andrea here one day. I would love to, but get to talk to someone like you. And it's just get to learn who you are, understand what got you in the sport. That's why I do this. This is my man.
Well, and like I
X.
said, we all start here. We all start here. Andrea started here as well. So um, this is the start. I just feel this is just the beginning for us. So
Mm, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's my man X. He's always picking on me. He says, "Golan, he's a clown." Yes, I'm a clown. I'm the crown prince of crime. Also, this is for my man KL. Before he goes, says, "I used to watch when it was on TV, but I know, but because people is always going to use that excuse against my story. But it's almost in every sport. There's like baseball players, basketball players. The Olympics was just about a few months ago. There's always that controversy of it. But if you are an athlete and you're determined to find your place in a sport and develop and grow, it's just about the process of it. And you have to trust
Yeah.
yourself, trust people around you, and know that, if you work hard enough, you'll eventually get it. But
Mm.
like I said, man, I do respect you and your time. So this is one question I ask you. What would you want out of bodybuilding towards your future?
Um, it's yeah to
Stumped you tonight.
toward. Say the question again. Towards
What?
my future.
Yeah, your future as an athlete, as a bodybuilder.
Yeah, just to leave like who I am, something to be remembered by. It's a major part of my life. Um, yeah, like to make me further grow as a person. And the people around me. Um, and just to be an all in all. At the end of the day, this is just a sport. If you're a shit person, you're a shit person. But this sport makes me a better person. This sport gives me purpose. Um, I want to leave something to be remembered by, and I want this sport to be. And when people say hear the name Renae Malan, oh yeah, she was that bodybuilder that did well, or she won the Olympia, or you know, um, yeah, just to keep me growing, to keep me happy, and to keep you know good loved people around me.
Well, that's good. That's good. So, and we'll let you go. So, anybody have to give a shout out to before we let you go?
All the people back home, all my clients, all my competing girls, they're actually at home doing shows at the moment, doing really well. Um, all the people that have helped me get here, my coaches Shane and George, and my parents as well, always been supportive. Um, they they just think it's amazing that I'm in Vegas. Yeah. Um, and thank you, George. Thank you for supporting women's bodybuilding, and thank you for keeping us, recognized. And because this is the sort of stuff that's going to keep women's bodybuilding going. So thank you very much.
For one of my quotes, I love to say this is this from my movie Batman Begins. At the end, when Jim Gordon says to Batman, says, "I never got a chance to thank you," and he turns around and says to him, "says You never have to. This is why here I have a small channel, and I've been a fan of your ladies in this sport for a long time, and this is why I do this because y'all need attention, y'all need the recognition, you need to be respected, and understand what it takes to be an athlete in this sport and your passion.
Mm,
I don't need thank yous for it. I do because it gives me a purpose. But I do wish the best for you. I do wish that possibly you do work hard and hope you do well as a pro. We do need women like yourself to represent this sport.
mm.
And all the ladies out there who competed this weekend and yesterday, I wish them all the best in their futures. We have here, this is my man K. I said, shout out to George in Australia. Shout out to George. And also he says, George is the ambassador. Nah, I'm the emperor. so folks, we'd like to thank Renae for coming through, share her story. If you're someone actually interested in maybe sponsoring her, if you're in Australia watching my live stream, if you're a fan of my channel, reach out to her. Her links are in the description of this interview. Check her out. Have genuine interest in supporting these ladies. Don't be that weird guy. Here's the thing, guys.
Mm.
you get more with a silk glove than with an iron fist. And I know what you're doing with that iron fist. So, so we'd like to thank again for Renae. I like to shout out to my man KL, the one for coming through. My brother Execution 3, my man Balls Deep. Also, who is watching this live stream. Thank you for support. Thank you for your comments. Follow us and subscribe us, on social media and support women in bodybuilding. This is Malan with George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I am out. Have a good afternoon, good evening, good night, and good morning.
Thanks, George.
You are welcome.